My name is Phil Wrubleski, and it all started here, 920 Summit Ave, Schwenksville, Pennsylvania. This home is no longer here. It's an empty lot now. It actually tragically burnt down a couple years ago with 2 boys in it. The darkness started way before that tragedy in that home with myself and my family. My mother has actually molested all of us and murdered even one of my brothers in that home and manipulated me to find him. Because I was manipulated to find him, she had never gotten in any police contact, and the official cause of death was SIDS for my youngest brother. Finding my dead brother at the request of my murdering mother was the root cause of my heroin addiction and 10 plus years of pure bondage and prison lifestyle. 10 plus years of an addiction and coming out of that and recovering that through therapy, through counseling, both Christian and non-Christian, Teen Challenge, and Liberty twice, gave me incredible knowledge and psychological insight on that root cause of my addiction. However, I would still find myself back in an addiction because I was always trying to modify the behavior. And even though I was aware, it was a bunch of surface level behavior modification that never actually led to any healing. The last time I was officially in a court of law, I was offered 10 to 20 years. And from that point, I totally surrendered in a new way and believed I would be going to jail for 10 to 20 years. And I wanted to if that was the Lord's will. I truly wanted nothing more than God's will. It was not His will. I ended up being let out and into Liberty Ministries for a second time. During my second time at Liberty, I find myself cutting hair for an upteenth time in my life in the basement for the guys. Ray Phillips, if you know good old Ray, was the first guy I've ever cut down there and gave me a word from the Lord and said, I see you doing this as a career. This is a ministry for you. This is a special thing for you. And I really took that to heart because I had been doing it and it spoke to me. And my mentor had confirmed it weeks later, bringing up hair cutting. And I took that as a sign from God and confirmation. And I looked up the best places around. Sal came up. I called Sal. We had an amazing conversation. We built a friendship together. Liberty allowed me to do my apprenticeship through him. They never allowed driving past the Collegeville thrift store like that. So this was truly God allowing for this. When I started with Sal, because I was already a barber, it was so amazing and very easy with the skill portion in the beginning. But God started to really work on my spirit and teach me that this was a way for me to minister to men while it was a one-on-one atmosphere. And the service of the haircut was definitely a major tool that God was using to build that relationship and that spiritual foundation. I saw that that was the heart of what I was doing there and worked on doing that while at Sal's. Over the next 5 years, Sal and I developed an actual partnership, and then it led to me franchising Sal and buying our third location in Phoenixville and an overall 5-shop franchise location before I ended up selling to him during COVID-19 to go and start Counterculture, which the Lord put on my heart as an execution to what Sal's Barbershop was. God was evolving a regular barbershop business and everything I needed to learn about the business aspect that He brought Sal in my life for to being a full-blown ministry. Surrendering Sal's for me was similar to that moment in court because it had been a kingdom that I had built and it had been huge and we made tons of money and I didn't necessarily want to give it up. the Lord put on my heart it was time to give it up, because it wasn't about me, it wasn't about making money, it wasn't about Sal's. It was about him, and it was about these men, and it was about redemption through Jesus Christ. Right away, from the very beginning, counterculture became exactly that. It blew my mind. It was way more than a barber shop. It was a broken down building across from Liberty with drug addicts and people selling drugs. I said, Lord, you're taking me from my gorgeous Schwenksville location to here in the middle of COVID. And that's exactly what he was doing. Little did I know it would lead me to this conversation. I had one guy with me. I was looking at going from 12 barbers to 16 with a second shop between Phoenixville and Schwenksville. Instead, God pruned me. Instead of flourishing me, I came down. It was just John and I. So from 15 men to just one. That did not feel good. It was very testing, but it was what the Lord was asking, and it's what we did. And so we've grown from there to 4 barbers now with 1 apprentice, and also into the building connected to our barber shop. I'm called back to Schwenksville from the very same place where all the childhood traumas started that led to the addiction, that led to the prison lifestyle. So to have gone through my journey with God, with Sal, with liberty, to end up back here reminds me of a verse, Romans 8:28. And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose. Even the deepest part of the traumas of my childhood and what I experienced in the survival modes that led to the drug addiction, even the darkness in addiction, all the way to the prison lifestyle, and all those experiences God used gave me the opportunity to start this ministry at the barbershop that is evolved into a full program that involves a nonprofit mobile barbershop ministry. So we have 3 into 1. God put all this together by taking all that past, all that hurt and pain, to be able to give that to others through Jesus Christ. And so the barbers that we have, 98% of them, the same trauma, the same patterns. God's breaking it free in their life. And as far as the program goes and the development of it, the building that the barber shop is a mixed commercial residential building. The nonprofit is there to get these barbers out essentially from prison and homelessness and plugged into the building with a space to be able to live. And the nonprofit supports the living for these individuals, and then also gives us the ability through a mobile unit to get out there, to be able to cut homeless hair, to wash them and serve them, and be doing the true work of God, which is for souls. Has really given an amazing and only ability for an individual to see their own brokenness through another. And I've noticed the most powerful thing is to love somebody through that. It's the true difficult way to love. It's a true unconditional love. And that has built a bond through a group unlike any counseling session I've ever seen. So that's the hard work. That's what we're continuing to try and do in this program out here in our local communities, and to just continue to love on people and be a shining light in a dimming world. And so we want to keep that light bright as everything around is getting darker. My name is Wrubleski, owner of Counterculture. Thank you again so much for your time. God bless.